Hi, welcome everybody. We are going to talk about in this video of how to maintain the knowledge inside a company. An example of the approach of application of AI in the EdTech environment. I'm Luis Peña, CEO of Rules. The problem to maintain the knowledge inside the company is based on the fact that the workers that are going to be retired after a long period of time serving in a company, taking the knowledge with them. The newcomers that comes to their positions have to be enabled to achieve the knowledge that they got as soon as possible. The problem in many cases is that this information is not well structured or accessible for everybody. The expertise and the knowledge in a position many times are based on the fact that the company has a lot of documents that can be or not digitalized. This is the basic source of knowledge when a newcomers come into a company. In many scenarios, the experience of the workers can be extracted using different techniques, and it was done in the past through expert systems or fuzzy logic or some other AI technologies. But this is less common right now because many of the companies has a lot of experts with a lot of knowledge divided or spread across the world, and it's not easy to carry out enough interviews to extract that knowledge. So the application of these technologies is not as usual right now as it is done in the past. So a new solution must be done right now if we want to maintain this knowledge in the companies. We propose right now in this video how to use an approach of the application of new AI technologies in an edtech approach of the problem, like having a tutor or something like that that can help the newcomers to know how about to carry out different tasks in their environment, extracting the knowledge from different sources and being able to put that in the hands of the new workers in an easy way. To solve this problem, the new AI technology presents different solutions that can be used in different ways to carry out this problem. We are going to see right now an example of how this technology can be used in an architecture and solution for this kind of problems. Many of you probably know that the current tendency of artificial intelligence solving solutions like ChatGPT or some other OpenAI solutions are being carried out generative approach to manage different scenarios like keeping a conversation or creating new images. These approaches are being carried out using a large amount of information that are being learned and structured in a certain way with these systems. ChatGPT, for instance, is based on the idea of the large language models, which extract a lot of information across internet and create a knowledge base that can be used to generate answers to any kind of questions, keeping and maintaining the context of a conversation with the speaker that is carrying out the questions. This is a huge amount of information to carry, and the approach of these solutions can create a new ways to interact with systems and extracting knowledge. One of the main problems that these large language models has is that they are trained using general available information across internet, public information in many cases, that are enough to cover a huge amount of questions and answers, and being able to create new conversations and answers if all the information is not available. This is one of the criticisms of this solution, is that they are not always accurate with the reality. The problem to apply these large language models to scenarios where the technical and correct answer is critical is that they have to be adapted or used in a very closed environment, because we are not going to ask about general questions to the system. We are going to ask about specific questions that has to be answered with a very accurate and real conversational answers. So the problem to use these models in this approach is that they need to be trained in this point. This is an expensive and very time-consuming of resources and time of kind of solution. But probably in many of these cases, we can use external or third-party solutions to solve that. But the approach is also well known to be used across the different fields. We present here two pilot experiences that we got inside the company of how to use these approaches to two different fields of application. One is the maintenance of huge SIPs in the Naval AI, which we want to extract the knowledge of different engineers in the companies that knows how to repair and maintain huge ships in shipyards, and they are being right now retiring due to the many years that they've been working. Many of these ships has 20 years old, so they need to maintain the knowledge of how to repair that. In many cases, the documentation on the technical part of these engines is not available, digitally speaking, or even in many cases, the repairs of the ships change different elements in the ship that are right now not being able to be accessible in any other way. Also, one of the main problems that we want to solve is that we not only need to know how to fix some kind of problem or element that can be damaged in a ship, but also we need to know where to ask for the pieces needed, how much time is going to consume. We have to inform different companies or elements about the the fact that the ship is in the shipyard, etc. So the solution right now to carrying out a task such as repairing a ship takes much more steps that one can think. And the creation of this task that can be connected with different sources of information or different subsystems of the company can be done right now by the experts because they know how to do that. But if a newcomers come, it's not easy to maintain the knowledge and to give all the details. That is where the AI comes into action. The approach is to try to learn a large language model that can structure all the knowledge, the notes, the documents, or even the interviews that we can carry out with experts in a knowledge base that can be used in a natural way using different prompts or questions or queries and interconnecting that with different systems to carry out a task list that can be accomplished and followed by the newcomers as if they have a tutor or the expert beside them in any case. In this case, the solutions has to be applied with a specific software architecture that can manage this large amount of documents and information that can create these large language models. The other example that we are being using that is the risk AI, where also structured documents like protocols to manage risk are also being teach in some way to the directors or the crew members of different companies across the world. But when the risk comes out, it's something that is so unusual that they tend to forget what they learned. So they need a fast way to solve the problem that carry out the solution that can be managed in the hands of any crew of the team to solve this problem. The idea here is that we need to feed all the documents inside the large language model in a way that they only answer giving questions with the knowledge that they got inside of the context. So they don't try to generate or be creative in the answer, because in many cases we need to follow up a well-known protocol but the steps and the details are not so easy to achieve because you have to, I don't know, how to find out the phone number of somebody to call even in a risk way, or which are the contact or the prices that we got from a provider. This is some information that you usually have to find out in some other places, and it's not easy to somebody new know where they are that information. Uh, to carry out these solutions, we prepare some abstract architecture that is based on the idea of we need a lot of documents to be processed, in particular from the part of the company, and we have to carry out expert interviews, we have to define all the protocols that is needed, and all that information must to be ingested in the system in a curated database. The important part here is we need data, and we need that data to be curated, to be clean of redundant information, to be sure that the sources are real, etc. So one of the main points to carry out this solution is that the ChatGPT by its own is not going to solve any problem. You need to create a lot of interaction with the particular documents that probably are not public from the company, and you need to extract all the knowledge from them and add that to the large language model that you are using. In the usage part of this solution, the other thing is you need to have a query interface where the user can be interacting in a natural way, sorting different questions and receiving answers, and keeping a track, and creating some kind of task list or resume about how to solve the problem that he is asking. But to create this task, you need to probably interconnect the system with different subsystems of the company, the providers, the customers, or the human resources databases has to be connected to the system in order to be able to produce a robust and complete answer to the user. You don't want that the user has to spend 2 hours trying to find out which one is the person he has to talk about some problem. If you can query the system, query the database of human resources, and give him the answer in an easy way. So that's the magic or the power of this solution, is to interconnect different sources of knowledge internal from the company with some other subsystems in a natural way of interacting with them through natural language processing and context-keeping environments. What we need to do it works. That is the resume. Obviously, you need data. You need that data curated, and if it's possible, you need even more data curated. So the problem here is always the same from artificial intelligence in the way that we understand it right now. We need a lot of amounts of data being accessible, being well constructed, and with that information, we can extract the knowledge and put that in the hands of the artificial intelligence engines, and at the very end, in the user's hand. But we need to use that information. We have to extract the knowledge from the experts, interviews, any source of or any mechanism that can help that to carry out these interviews well, and you need to use that. And also you need to know about the complete environment of the problem you are trying to solve. So you need to have something about the subsystems, the different IT systems that the company has, and create a robust solution that trying to interact with different elements in some different ways. So the idea here is try to interconnect all the elements to carry out a complete answer to the user. Yes, and that's all. You need a lot of curated data, and thank you very much for listening this video. If you have any questions, please contact me whenever you want.